Hello and welcome to NTV at 1 on this Mashujaa Day 2024. My name is Hellen live from the Nation Center in Nairobi. Moments ago, we have witnessed the national celebration at the Kwale Stadium in Kwale County. And we begin here in Kwale, where our senior reporter, Kevin Mutai and Zainab Ismail, have been covering the event and now join us live for a recap of what the event entailed. Zainab, kindly inform us what today was some of the highlights that really stood out for you on the ground following President William Ruto's speech.
All right, Hellen, we're still coming to you live from Kwale Stadium here in Mashujaa in Kwale constituency, where President William Ruto just gave his address on this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations that was being held in this county. And Hellen, the president's speech largely touched on the issue of affordable housing under the theme Boma Yangu. Of course, that is a key component of the Kenya Kwanza's bottom-up economic agenda. And just to mention a couple of things that the president said was that 124,000 housing units in 75 seats in 37 counties are currently in different levels and are underway, and that will be completed across those 37 counties in different times. And in Kwale specifically, because this is where we are, Diani White House and Matuga projects are ongoing, and this is part of the government's initiative to ensure everyone has affordable homes and that everyone is living in decent homes. In Nairobi, says that they have given 180,000 units in Mukuru, with mortgages ranging at about 3,000 to 3,200 price per month. That the mortgage issue will now make sure that people who live in the slums will be able to afford and own homes and not just live in the slums and pay the rents, that they will be paying those mortgages and eventually will be owning homes through this program. The president also touched on other issues to do with health. Remember, the Social Health Authority, the Social Health Insurance Fund that falls under the authority. It has been a debate across the country, a point of conversation, and many Kenyans have been, asking many questions on that issue, particularly with those who are still under the NHIF, the National Health Insurance Fund, which has now been removed. But what President Ruto said is that 3 billion has been released to settle the outstanding payments to hospitals and other service providers, which has been a major issue of concern for Kenyans, because you find that there were patients who would complain that they went to hospitals and could not be able to receive services because the hospitals did not want to accrue more debt that was still under NHIF. So what the president said was that 3 billion shillings has been released to settle that outstanding amount and the payment, and that money will be released from next week to settle the debts with those particular hospitals. Now, interestingly to note, Hellen, was there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of anticipation to see how this will pan out in terms of the political scene in the country. Remember, the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua as deputy president in the Senate transpired. That then proceeded with a conservatory order that was issued by the High Court, and that threw the spanner into the works regarding even the appointment or the nomination of Professor Kithure Kindiki as deputy president nominee. Now, what we saw was that the deputy president nominee, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who also is still serving as the CS Interior, received President William Ruto at the County Commissioner's office. But when we came to the stadium, it was Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi who introduced, or gave President William Ruto the opportunity to stand to the stadium to speak. But that isn't normally the protocol, as it would be the deputy president that will call the president's name in essence. But what was conspicuously loud as well was a statement when the DP nominee, Professor Kithure Kindiki, sat. He was at the stadium. He sat right next to the First Lady, Mama Rachel, and significantly, that would be the seat that is allocated or reserved for the deputy president. So we will be, trying to follow up to see how the next few days go, how the next week will be, transpiring in terms of the developments that we've seen in the political landscape in the country. But that was basically about it. The president did not speak on any issues surrounding the deputy president and the issues that have come up from that. But Helen will be here and we'll be giving you more stories from the speech and, of course, what has transpired today during the Mashujaa Day celebrations in our 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. bulletins. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Zainab Ismail. You are doing a fantastic job on ground, and we're looking forward for more of those updates from you in Kwale County. Thank you so much. Now, the head of state has also hailed the transition to the new medical policy, SHA, which is now weeks into operation with a number of challenges. The president says the government has set aside some 3 billion shillings to pay off debt accrued under the defunct NHIF and owed to medical facilities. Ruto is asking Kenyans to be patient as the teething transition challenges are addressed.
I urge private hospitals to expedite the contracting process to enable us complete the final rollout of the universal health coverage. To accelerate this rollout, the government of Kenya has released 3 billion shillings to settle outstanding payments to hospitals and other service providers. I know this has been a major concern for hospitals that are owed by the former NHIF a lot of money. I want to give them my assurance that from next week, we have already released the money that will go into settling some of the debts that have held back their services under our new program. I want to assure all the former employees and those now serving under our new outfit that no one will lose their jobs.
President William Ruto has also reiterated his government's commitment to seeing through the plan to construct thousands of houses under the affordable housing program. It was, in fact, the thematic issue of the celebrations. Listen in.
This year, just a few months from now, we will achieve a major milestone by handing over 1,080 new studio units at the Mukuru Meteorological Site in Nairobi, with mortgages priced at 3,200 per month. The program's benefits extend beyond housing. So far, the affordable housing program has created over 160,000 jobs throughout the housing value chain. While the industry remains predominantly male, we are working to increase female participation to 30%, up from the current 20%. Our collaboration with the Jua Kali sector has demonstrated the affordable housing program's significant potential to transform local manufacturing.
Meanwhile, President William Ruto has taken a swipe at impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua over his quest for Mount Kenya unity and the one-man, one-vote, one-shilling revenue-sharing formula. Ruto says his government will dish out development goodies equally to Kenyans without reference to any region. This is the first time the president has addressed Rigathi Gachagua directly since the beginning of the impeachment motion.
The great lesson that has been passed down to us from their era, and which we must faithfully transmit clearly and boldly to the future generations, is that every citizen of Kenya is a full and equal member of our political community, entitled to make a contribution to nation building and with an inalienable right to a full, just, and fair share of all the benefits that accrue from our development. No proposition to discriminate or to unjustly diminish one while enlarging another's right is admissible anywhere. Therefore, any formula seeking to exclude, alienate, or disenfranchise any person, group of community for any reason is repugnant to the very essence of our nationhood. We are one people, and Kenya is one.
We will keep you updated on all stories regarding Mashujaa Day in our subsequent bulletin. Now on to other stories. The interclan and ethnic conflict in Tana River County has forced many victims to move into temporary camps for the third week now, driving children away from schools. The affected families are facing numerous challenges, including lack of shelter and their children missing out on education, despite the approaching national examination season. Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana is urging the Ministry of Education to make special arrangements for learners in the region so that the affected students do not miss out on the upcoming exams.
Hakuna mahali ya kukaa, ni lazima tuende huko juu. Huko juu hakuna nafasi ya kwenda. Tangi zetu za maji zimeshatolewa huko, hakuna maji. Manyumba ilikuwa tumejengwa wamechoma choma. Watu wanasema serikali mrudi huko, lakini sasa tutarudi wapi? Nyumba yenyewe huko zimechomwa, hatuna kitu.
Tunachukua nafasi hii pia kupeleka maombi na wito kwa waziri wa elimu ambaye ameteuliwa juzi pamoja na permanent secretary kufanya some emergency arrangement. Hawa watoto wasikae nyumbani siku nzima.
The government has launched drought intervention efforts across 30 counties affected by drought. These initiatives include water tracking, food distribution and cash transfer programs. One such effort has been launched in Ganze constituency in Kilifi County, where close to 20,000 people are in need of urgent aid. Nuruddin Almoge has more.
Rachel Charo is on a mission today. Hello. With her baby strapped on her back, she carries at least 5 jerrycans, each holding 20 liters, to the watering point. If she misses this chance, she will have to wait another 3 or 4 days for the next water delivery. Her village in Digiria depends on this government water tracking exercise after local sources like dams and water pumps dried up.
Kuna visima pale. Sasa hivi ukienda hapo unachota maji. Maji yenyewe ni yale ambayo hata yako chumvi. Mtoto ukimpa leo maji ukimbadilishia na harisha. Wewe mwenyewe ukinywa maji hivi hata usikii kwamba umetoshika kunywa maji. Sasa kuna shida nyingi sana.
Rachel is not alone in the struggle. Many parents here use their children's free time from school to help fetch as much water as they can for their family's need.
Hii sehemu ya Ganze ni kati ya zile sehemu masikini zaidi katika Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Hii sehemu ya Ganze ni katika zile sehemu ambazo zimeathirika sana, especially na hili janga la ukame. Lakini misaada ya kiserikali, especially katika hizo siku za nyuma, imekuwa vigumu sana kupatikana. Ndio maana utaona sisi tumekuwa synonymous na mashaka, tumekuwa synonymous na shida.
The water bowsers navigate the rough trains of Ganze, making stops at various points. Around 19,000 people in Bamba and Sokoke sub-counties are in urgent need of this aid. This situation has also affected the school feeding program, as most institutions are forced to buy water several kilometers away.
Tumekuja kuzindua water tracking ndio iendelee hata tukitoka isaidie kufanya wananchi wazuumia zaidi wapate maji fresh.
The cabinet secretary as a school also distributed 600 bags of rice and 520 bags of beans worth some 8 million shillings to the residents.
Hiyo chakula bado haitoshi, tutaangalia pale ndani tuone ni nini tutakuongezea, kwa sababu sehemu yako kweli vile tumeona unahitaji usaidizi.
The program is in partnership with the Food and Agricultural Organization of Kenya, which is also distributing drought-tolerant seed in preparation for the October to December season. Nurdin Almoge, NTV.
Well, all eyes were at the Kwale Stadium to see how events would pan out there in light of the ongoing changes in government, whereas Deputy President-elect Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki's role was largely quiet. He did exercise some power. Professor Kindiki is the one who received the president upon arrival in Kwale County. Traditionally, this is done by the deputy president, and with Rigathi Gachagua not attending the event, Kindiki did play the role. Also, during the speeches, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi did recognize Kindiki as Deputy President-elect before inviting the president to speak. Take a look at the pictures as we find out more for our news stories later in the day. We're taking a short break here on NTV at 1, but don't go too far. We have much more lined up for you.
Global Tea and Commodities Limited is by far the largest tea exporter in Kenya and probably in East Africa as well. Our group has employed closer to 1,000 employees. We face so much of challenges. One of the rainbows in the storm has been Apsa's TMO system. The facilities which we enjoy has helped us grow our business in the last year tremendously. And together we can write the next chapter of our story.
Introducing Festive Cakes.
We have some delightful snacks for all of you.
The Festive Simbella Cake. Indulge in the pleasure of a cone-shaped cake that's bursting with flavors.
Where did you come from?
Come with me. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Festive Cupcakes.
Thank you.
Perfect treat to share with friends and family.
Now for your kids' school snacks, Hakuna Stress.
Festive Pink Cakes. The perfect blend of sweetness and softness.
And now this is for you, Dad, and your office mate.
Festive Pound Cake. This sumptuous cake will leave you craving for more. Taste the magic with our Festive Cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Babies play around and then, oops, Morphix in a absorb like whoop. Imagine high-waisted leak in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Morphix. Renewed Morphix, ultimate quality.
Enjoy all-in-one payment solutions for your business with Network. Accept multiple payment methods and process all your business transactions on one device. Whether it's M-Pesa, Airtel Money, Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Network does it all. It's faster, it's better, it's smarter. Get it for your business today by calling 0730-847-847.
Usiachwe nyuma. Join us at the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Register by visiting www.nairobimarathon.com and help us move Kenya forward. Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Run, embrace possibility.
Voice is basically the sound that you produce, and it's produced from the voice box. So the lungs produce air. The air makes the vocal cords vibrate, then you produce voice. Voice disorders can be what we call acute for a short time or chronic for a long time.
My thyroid was growing big, so it was removed. I was told I had some vocal cord burst.
Panadol Extra Soluble. Dissolves twice as fast versus standard paracetamol tablets.
Wewe umetuamini kukutembeza mashariki, kusini, kaskazini na magharibi kuijua Kenya.
Na tumepenya, positioned as your prized partner, portraying the potential, pains and promise your county poses for you.
Yuyu huyu kipenzi chako cha county anakumulikia mishale ya Kwale.
Giving you a tour of the county, see it from the sea, address your cares from the air and grasp what's at hand on the land.
Siku ya Mashujaa tumefurahia sana kurepa sehemu za Kwale.
Naona huku shamra ziko nyingi, watu wamejipanga Mashujaa.
Kujaja kimashujaa bashara tarehe 20 Oktoba. Aminia kikosi cha NTV, usipitwe na kitu.
NTV on the road. Kwale Mashujaa edition.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Siaya Governor James Orengo has raised concerns over delays in exchequer releases from the National Treasury, which he says is delaying payment of salaries and allowances, thereby affecting staff productivity. Orengo says the Council of Governors has raised the matter with the national government, but not much has changed. He also says his administration is in conversations with the Siaya County Public Service Board to address the issue of delayed promotions.
The exchequer releases have not been doing very well. Most of the time, the exchequer releases are 3 months late. And normally, in those requests for exchequer releases, after they come out, there's always the issue of allowances. And because they are delayed, allowances are not paid in good time. And that is not right, because when you go out there to represent the county and you have nothing in your pocket, and when you come back, there's still nothing in your pocket, you cannot work. You cannot work. Nobody works for nothing. You look dehumanized. If you're working at the county and you go back home, you cannot be able to buy even a packet of milk or a loaf, even before your children, you don't look like a responsible father or parent. So it's a serious issue. And I want to assure you that we are dealing with that issue of allowances, and we are going to meet with the team from the staff to reach an understanding.
The divide between the primary and secondary school teachers' unions continues to escalate after officials from the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers chided their counterparts in the Kenya National Union of Teachers for bowing out of a planned joint strike at the last minute. Union officials say the fact that Kuppet went it alone in the strike has strengthened their union. He says they are ready to return to the streets next year if the agreements are not adhered to.
We are very grateful to NAT for not joining us in that strike, so that people can no longer say we always hang on the coats of NAT, the tail of NAT. We can stand on our own and we can paralyze schools in this country. And I believe there might be another opportunity next year. If we will not get a salary increase, surely we need to do something. If we will not get money for promotion, surely we may be called upon to do something even next year. Now that we have known, we have the muscle. I know the government is trying to deal with us because they have already stopped the union dues, but I'm happy that we are still surviving, but it's provided for in the law, and we need to get that.
The government, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection, is currently collecting data for the enhanced single registry in 12 counties. The registry aims to gather, update and link data of vulnerable persons and households, ensuring they receive the right services and support. Here is the Social Protection PS Joseph Motari.
This data, finally, we shall use it for our cash transfers payments. We do what we call Inua Jamii for the old people, for the children, orphan vulnerable children, and the people living with severe disabilities. So this is where we shall be picking this data from. We will not be going to the field every now and then. We want to continue having data at our disposal. With a button, I'm able to onboard the number that's subject to the amount of money that I have. And we have recruited about 7,000 young fellows to do this data, to collect.
On to some sports news now. Asbel Kiprono and Maureen Chepkoech put in a dominant display to emerge victorious in the opening leg of the Athletics Kenya cross-country series that took place at the Machakos Teachers College on Saturday. Kiprono stormed to the win after clocking 32 minutes, 14.7 seconds, with Francis Abong coming 3 seconds later and Victor Kipruto rounding off the podium places 18 seconds later. In the women's senior race, Chepkoech took the plaudits as she clocked 36 minutes, 22.9 seconds to emerge victorious as Christine Jockey and Esther Chemtai settled for second and third place respectively. There was also stiff competition in the juniors category with Silas and Yvonne Chepchirchir emerging triumph in the men's and women's category. The second leg of the series will take place on the 26th of October in Chapsokoni.
Bei ya leo haikuwa mbaya, lakini course was very tough. Lakini nilijaribu my best to win this race.
Nilikimbia lobo nikakuwa position 2-3, it was junior. Then this year ndo niligraduate kuenda senior, nikawa lobo number position 13.
Kenyan champions Gor Mahia is set to play a friendly match against Tanzanian champions Yanga on the 1st of January 2025 during the grand opening of the ultra-modern Siaya, according to Siaya County Governor Joseph Orengo. The stadium is a 22,000 capacity modern sports arena.
We're going to have Gor Mahia and the Yanga Football Club from Tanzania playing here. And we are talking to our people and our friends to make that special celebration of the opening of the stadium, and our brothers from Tanzania.
Thika beat newcomers Hunters 41-37 in the men's Kenya Handball Federation League at the Ulinzi Sports Complex, as Amazon thrashed Desert Scorpions 35-21 in the women's league. Nelson Wanjala and Abel Kimei both scored 5 goals for Thika to help them a crucial victory against Hunters, who are in their first season in the top-tier league. NCPB won 48-16 against Inspired as Hunters suffered their second loss at the hands of Ulinzi, who beat them 38-14. In the women's league, Ulinzi Sharks beat Kids Beyond Limits 38-11 and Amazon won 35-21 against Desert Scorpions. Thika will face the defending champions Ulinzi today as Hunters go head-on with Inspired. In the women's league, defending champions Ulinzi Sharks take on Mountain Queen as Amazon play Nairobi Water at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. To golf now, and Willie Mustamet and Jerry Wakahiu are the overall winners of the Lady Captain's Prize that was played at Nairobi's Vets Club in Loresho. The annual golf tournament was played for 5 days from the 14th of October, with a total of 240 golfers taking part in the event. Both Mustamet and Jerry each registered a total of 65 net to walk away, as champions Karan Singh and Sam Kingori finished second and third respectively, with both scoring 66 net. In the women's category, Anissa Ibrahimova and Nancy Njeri completed the podium places. Bob Asio and Stefoin Mutungi were the subsidiary winners.
I think it's very competitive. We have teams from all around the country, and teams have come in and put in the best show. I have seen teams from the coast side, from the western side, from the central side, and everybody wants to be crowned as the winner of this year's Lady Captain's Prize.
We are joined by our reporter on ground, that is Brian Mushiri, who is updating us regarding the issue. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who is expected to leave hospital this afternoon, days after being taken ill. Rigathi was admitted at Karen Hospital after leaving his Senate impeachment trial midway on Thursday. Our reporter Brian Mushiri is in Karen Hospital and now joins us live. Brian, what is going on at the moment, and when do we expect Rigathi Gachagua to be discharged from the hospital?
Thank you very much, Helen. Like you've so rightly put it, coming to you live from the Karen Hospital. Need I say that this is the first time that I'm receiving a live link from you? A big hand and a big congratulations, my dear sister on the other side in studio. Like you've so rightly put it, we are anticipating impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to walk out. At least we have that information that impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua may be leaving the Karen Hospital this afternoon, leading into this evening. Of course, it has been a packed week and a packed past 2 weeks for the man Rigathi Gachagua, who has seen the National Assembly as well as the Senate ratify his impeachment from office. Of course, leading into the weekend that has been, we have also seen the almost expulsion or taken to compulsory leave for 108 employees within his office. So it is just a situation that we continue to monitor. We have also engaged with a few leaders via phone who have indicated that the matter will only be communicated from his communication team. Nobody seems to want to own the information yet. However, like you've said it, what we are expecting, what we are anticipating from the Karen Hospital is that impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, some 3 days after being taken in here, being taken ill with some chest complications, is expected to leave this hospital. When we got here on that fateful night, Dr. Gikonyo, who is also a director in this hospital, at this hospital, did indicate that they will have to put him under their unit or under their care for at least 48 hours for him to at least have stabilized. Since then, we have seen leaders drawn from his new friendships within the UDA party as well as Wiper party and the DAPK party just make their way here to offer the man a shoulder to lean on. So, Helen, it is just a matter of wait and see on this amazing Mashujaa Day, Sunday afternoon from the Karen Hospital. Just perhaps hoping to see or impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua walk out of the Karen Hospital. We do hope he will give us a word. It will be the first time he will be speaking from the time that the Senate ratified his impeachment, Helen.
Thank you so much for that update, Brian Mushiri. That's our reporter, Brian Mushiri, who's on ground in Karen Hospital, and he's following up on the condition of impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, considering this is the third day that he is in hospital and where he had been admitted. And Dr. Gikonyo had announced that Rigathi Gachagua was suffering from chest pains. And our reporter on the ground will be updating us in our subsequent bulletin concerning if Rigathi Gachagua will indeed be discharged today and what comes next after this. To some unfortunate news now, we've been informed that there's an update from Nairobi County that Nairobi County confirms the collapse of a housing unit along Kahawa West. Plot 233 along the Station Road in Kahawa West. And currently, all Nairobi County teams are fully engaged in disaster recovery and evacuation of the occupants from the adjacent building. I beg your pardon. We also have an update from the Kenya Red Cross on ground. Kenya Red Cross is also saying that a multi-agency response team is currently responding to a building collapse in Kahawa West, Nairobi County, where people are feared trapped in the building, and more updates are yet to follow. Our reporter Nurdin El Moge is on ground at the moment, and he will be updating us on all our online platforms, and we will keep you updated also in our subsequent bulletin as we proceed with the day. That's all for us here on NTV at 1. My name is Hellen Aura. Thank you so much for keeping me company. And as we celebrate Mashujaa Day, may you also celebrate the Shujaa who is in your life. Happy Mashujaa Day. Have a blessed Sunday. My name is Hellen Aura, and see you next Sunday.
This is NTV.
Karibuni! Hii ndio base ya the best local entertainment.
Tell me where my money is.
You don't know what they do to girls like you. Nakwambia mama Chantel amegeuka kwa mtoto siku hizi. Anabadilisha nguo kama mara 3 kwa siku.
Usiachwe nyuma. Join us at the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Register by visiting www.nairobimarathon.com and help us move Kenya forward. Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Run, embrace possibility.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and embark on a culinary journey with Pishi Bomba, the ultimate cooking show that brings the flavors of the world right into your living room. Tune in this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with me, Claire Karatu, for a mouth-watering adventure. Pishi Bomba. Cook, eat, enjoy.
Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Wewe umetuamini kukutembeza mashariki, kusini, kaskazini na magharibi kuijua Kenya.
Na tumepenya, positioned as your prized partner, portraying the potential, pains and promise your county poses for you.
Yuyu huyu kipenzi chako cha county anakumulikia mishale ya Kwale.
Giving you a tour of the county, see it from the sea, address your cares from the air and grasp what's at hand on the land.
Siku ya Mashujaa tumefurahia sana kuletwa sehemu za Kwale.
Naona huku shamra ziko nyingi, watu wamejipanga mashujaa.
Kujaja kimashujaa bashara tarehe 20 Oktoba. Aminia kikosi cha NTV, usipitwe na kitu.
NTV on the road. Kwale Mashujaa edition.
Both of you are grown-ups. You knew what you were getting yourselves into. Now, act like grown-ups and face the consequences of what you've done. You have to marry Kelly.
Mom, Kelly and I have already talked. We're not getting married.
Their marriage doesn't seem like something you want.
But of course I don't want it. I mean, because I know Nikolai's stance on it.
Have you maybe fallen in love with him too?
What if I say that I will do everything so I can let go of these feelings? Will you come back here then? I've already accepted that. I can't be anything more than that. So I just want to let you know that I'll always be here if you need a friend.
Where did you come from?
Come with me. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Africa's next chapter in responsible business is here. Join industry leaders as we shape the next generation of responsible businesses.
Over the long term, business cannot succeed where societies are failing.
Exploring themes like ESG, economic growth, gender equality and climate change. Be part of